AI knows just where to go. Predict my taste with every scroll. It's like they're reading my soul.
Yeah.
Machines that whisper in the night, selling dreams with pixels bright. AI got that magic touch. Marketing was never so much. Analyze the trends we seek. Data crunches every week. Patterns hidden deep within. AI always knows the win. Smart suggestions fill the void. No more guesswork to avoid. Instant insights day and night, turning wrong into right.
As much as I'd love to hear all the rest of that, Christine, you want to kick us off today?
Absolutely. So I want to give a warm welcome to everyone. I think the music gave you the vibes of what you're going to enter and experience in today's webinar session. So let's dive right in. So today, many of you are here because we're talking about AI, which is revolutionizing the marketplace landscape and empowering brands to connect with consumers in a smarter, more personalized way. Now, in this keynote, you're going to have an introduction to one of our keynote speakers who's going to share and explore how AI is reshaping marketing strategies, enhancing customer experiences, and of course, optimizing decision making, which is why many of you believe that this tool could be very beneficial to you. In this session, we're going to talk about several things: understanding AI's role in data-driven marketing and consumer insights, how AI-powered tools can enhance engagement and conversations, real world examples. And without further ado, I do want to introduce who's going to be introducing this concept to you for today's session. Now, my name is Christine and Tim. I'm the CEO of the Global Startup Ecosystem. I'm one of the partner influencers in the Graphic community. And I'm so excited to introduce our speaker for today's webinar session, which is Bill Carmody. He is a dedicated advocate for mental fitness and the elevation of the coaching profession. As a key contributor to Positive Intelligence, he collaborates with New York Times bestseller Susan Carmine to empower coaches worldwide. Now, Bill has developed the business development track within Positive Intelligence Advanced Training Program, equipping thousands of coaches and tools probably like you on the strategies that you need to build a thriving coaching business while achieving financial freedom. His mantra, "I am because you are," reflects his deep belief in the power of collective growth and impact. So please give some energy and excitement for our speaker, Bill Carmody, and I'll come back in the next half hour. So Bill, over to you. Such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Christine. Appreciate you. I love being here with you all, and thank you all for joining up today. I so appreciate you. As you know, I love to share some slides. I've got some great stuff for you today, and so I'm going to just kick it off. Let me just go here, and here we go. So we're going to be talking today about using artificial intelligence in your marketing. And as this is the last month, we did an event on monetizing your free events. And today, this is what we're doing, using AI in your marketing. Next month, we'll be talking about building your $1 million one-person business. And then after that, focusing on the essential few versus the trivial many. After that, making your business essentials effortless and changing your 2025 trajectory, ensuring your results. And we'll have some more to be announced after that. If you'd like to be reminded of these events, please make sure you are connected with me on LinkedIn, and I will make sure that you are up to date when we have these next events coming up. But these are the dates, and this is the time. It's always going to be on these Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So for today, we're going to be talking about using artificial intelligence to enhance your marketing efforts without losing your humanity. And for some of you, you already know, I always don't like to bury the lead. So for those of you who saw my LinkedIn post 48 hours ago, I launched askbill.us. And so this is my artificial intelligence chatbot. It is in using all of the knowledge and experience I've had with helping people build their coaching businesses. And I've already had some incredible responses. So this was launched 48 hours ago and already helping coaches with their business. This was from Karen, who I know is here today. Karen, thank you for being here. Bill, this is fantastic. I just created an entirely new program with AskBill.us. I have been struggling with how to incorporate PQ into my already existing grief-centered practice. I knew I could do it. I just couldn't get clear on my. I just couldn't clearly get my head around how. My sage is sizzling with excitement. Right now, I feel honored to have access to AskBill.us, my new best friend for advice and brainstorming. Thank you. Well done. And thank you, Karen, so much for your feedback. Really appreciate it. And Denise says, oh my God, Bill, all I have to say is way to listen, because I'm sure this idea came from your sage wisdom, intuition, higher self, whatever you choose to call it. I just spent an hour with the process, and I'm clear on my niche that I've been able to get in the last couple of years. I have also have a plan for generating appointments, a lead magnet with how to market, and an email sequence, and ideas for speaking engagements. Can't wait for this 3 p.m. time slot. Thank you so much. And so thank you, Denise. I appreciate you being here as well. So I'm going to ask you today to please use the chat to amplify our learning, your learning and our learning. When you see something and you want to share something, please use the chat. You have the opportunity to share it with everybody. And so at any point, please share your experience. For now, I'm going to ask you, what's one thing that you'd like to learn today about artificial intelligence? Please use the chat. What's one thing about artificial intelligence that you'd like to learn today?
Do you want me to read them out to you, or are you okay?
Sure. Yes, go ahead. Thank you.
So Jen said, make me efficient and human. Karen said, how to use my voice. Karima said, use AI for marketing images, create a plan for marketing, how to effectively use it to automate my spiritual business, how to use it further, more purposefully. Honestly, not certain. I'm just here to learn overall. So it's a variety of responses. Store and replay. The list is on and on. How to use it well, making images, lead generation. That's what's coming up.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Christine. Appreciate that. And so I came up with the top 10 that I thought you would be interested in, and it seems pretty consistent with what I just saw in the chat. So we've got AI-powered content creation. I saw a number of people put in the chat about content creation, whether that's a lead magnet, whether that's email, whether that's other marketing elements. Audiobooks and translations in your voice. You might not have known to ask for that, but I'm going to show you some examples of how I took my latest book and I put it through 11 Labs and did a on purpose deep fake of my own voice. And now my entire book is being read in AI, and it sounds just like me. And that means I can also translate it into multiple languages, which, even though it's not perfect, it's a pretty awesome start. I'll share some of that with you. Podcast episodes for edutainment. We've got the AI agents trained on your content for deep learning, just like I was sharing you a moment ago, askbill.us. And personalized email marketing, powerful lead magnets, keynote session descriptions, social media optimization, AI-generated images, photorealistic to illustrations, as well as AI original music creation in minutes. And I say original in air quotes because, of course, it takes me exactly 15 seconds to create a highly produced, beautiful song. The one you were listening to on the way in, that was one that I did, and I'll share with that a little bit later as well. But it's a fascinating world out there with so much that you can do, and I'm excited for how you're going to be able to use this in your marketing. So let's start with how to draft the right message. So the art of the start, I find this to be the most powerful way of using AI in your marketing. No more blank page anxiety. ChatGPT is not a replacement for your own experience and expertise. It is not a solution for every problem you encounter. It's also not always the best place to begin. However, it is a free and powerful way to create momentum, especially when you're stuck. A digital thought partner to help brainstorm ideas and suggestions, and it's often a solid first draft that helps you think through your message. So I did this as an example. Okay, so what are the top 10 ways that life coaches would use artificial intelligence in their marketing in order to attract new clients? And it gave me that list, and some of it was included in the one I just shared with you. But here's the difference, right? You don't want to risk copying and pasting without putting you into this work, because that's unoriginal. Sure, you could take what ChatGPT splits out and claim it as your own, but that's a huge mistake. Remember, everyone has access to this tool. ChatGPT is not a replacement for your brain. It's a thought partner. Instead, ChatGPT is meant to help you get started. Use the output as a draft, soft suggestions versus the final answer. I like to think of it as like a great intern, a really, really smart, really talented, really bright intern who's learning the business. Use your own innovation, yes, and what you're seeing. Customize with your own direct knowledge and experience, and people come to see and learn from you, not ChatGPT. So remember that. How might you enhance what you're seeing and make it even better? So in addition to ChatGPT, there are lots of other platforms. Google has Gemini. Microsoft has the system formerly known as Copilot. I don't know what they're calling it anymore. They've changed their name so many times, I can't keep up. And of course, there's all kinds of other tools that are specific point solutions, whether it's blog posts or product descriptions or landing page copy or social media posts or rewriting existing copy you've already written or e-commerce products, grammar and spelling, and social media posts, as well as gathering information and writing, and many, many others. If you go to Medium, there's all kinds of tool options you can discover for yourself and see which one works best for you. AI-powered content creation, it's all about the prompts. So if you learn nothing else from today's session, figure out how to ask your question. And I'm going to show you some good ways and not so good ways, because garbage in equals garbage out. So when I asked, okay, ChatGPT, what are the best prompts to use to get the best response? The best prompts for ChatGPT are clear, specific, and prompts that prompts that guide you through the response. Here are some tips and examples for getting the best results. Be clear and specific. A good prompt example is summarize the causes of the French Revolution in 5 sentences. A not so good response would be prompt would be tell me about the French Revolution, because it's too broad. Provide context. A good prompt would be I am writing a travel blog about Tokyo. Can you suggest a unique itinerary for first-time visitors? A bad prompt would be give me a Tokyo itinerary. Again, it's too broad. That doesn't know what to give you, and whatever it spits out is not necessarily going to be what you're looking for. Define the desired format. Good prompt. Write a LinkedIn post, 200 words, on the benefits of remote work, including a personal anecdote. A bad prompt. Tell me about remote work. Number 4, use role play for more engaging responses. I don't know if you knew you could do this, but you could say, hey, you're a career coach. How would you advise someone switching from finance to tech? A bad version of that is, how do I switch from finance to tech? Ask multiple options and perspectives. A good prompt, give me 3 unique business ideas for a sustainable fashion startup. A bad prompt is, give me a business idea for fashion. Refine with constraints. Create a meal plan for a week that is high protein, vegetarian, and easy to prepare. Bad prompt, give me a meal plan. Request iteration and improvement. A good prompt, here's an introduction paragraph from my blog post. Can you make it more engaging? And then include the text. Bad prompt, make my writing better. And lastly, use step-by-step instructions for complex tasks. A good prompt, explain how to start a podcast in 5 steps, including equipment, hosting, and marketing. Bad prompt, how do I start a podcast? So sample prompt ideas for your marketing efforts. LinkedIn, write a LinkedIn post that highlights the key benefits of hiring an executive coach to get promoted and includes a strong call to action to book a free coaching session. Or for email, generate an email subject line and body copy that encourages prospects interested in overcoming imposter syndrome to schedule a call without feeling salesy. Text, draft a 140-character text message that reminds potential clients about booking a free discovery without being pushy. Now think about that. These are all very specific prompts based on the architecture we just said, and you can make it as clean and specific as you would like. But start here, because the better your prompts are, the better output you're going to get from platforms like ChatGPT. So I'm going to take a pause here. What are you noticing? Please share in the chat.
Let me know if you want me to read them out for you.
Yes, please.
Sure. So you get what you ask for. The more specific, the better. Be clear, be detailed, be prompt. specific is always better, providing a lot of context that is pretty straightforward. Thank you, talking real fast. You know, it takes a human to make a machine work properly. The more specific, the better. Being clear about the acts. Don't make assumptions. Being specific. Good ones, guys.
Yeah, really great. And they're still coming in. You see all this. So I appreciate the idea of bringing you into the platform and to be able to use it more. So these are all really good suggestions. So now I want to share with you audiobooks and translations in your voice once it's trained. So all of this is available on my website at billcarmody.com. Bryn's going to put the link in the chat so you can check it out for yourself. But in this moment, let me pause here, and I just want to make sure I'm actually going to stop sharing. And what I'm going to do is just make sure you can hear the audio okay. So I'm just going to turn on the computer audio. And so this first one is the English translation of my book. And this is what it sounds like when I hit play. In 2019, I was done. Having received my professional certified coach, PCC, from the International Coaching Federation, ICF, in 2018, I had spent the last 2 years building and scaling my own coaching business to the high 6 figures in revenue. Now, I'll stop there, but my entire book is read like that. Now, think about this. I have dyslexia. I've had dyslexia since I was a child. It was so painful for me when I went into the studio the first time, when I wrote my book, the bestseller, 3 Rules of Marriage. I had to actually read it through, and I kept tripping over words, and it was taking me forever. It got to the point where I actually had my wife end up reading most of the book because it was so problematic and challenging for me. And yet people came to hear me, and they were hearing my wife. And I thought, well, I could also hire another actor to be a voice actor and do it that way. Or I can train through 11 labs. I can train him on my voice and have it read the entire book in my voice. But here's what's really cool. That's just the beginning. Once you have it in English and 11 Labs has it, now I can do it in French. I don't speak French.
Développement commercial, Sage par Bill Carmody. Aperçu. En 2019, j'en avais fini. Ayant reçu ma certification de coach professionnel, PCC, de la Fédération Internationale de Coaching.
Or, if you want, Spanish. En 2019 estaba harta. Tras recibir mi certificación profesional de coach, PCC, de la Federación Internacional de Coaching, ICF, en 2018, había pasado los 2 últimos años construyendo y ampliando mi propio negocio de coaching. Now, here's the thing. It's amazing, right? So this was so good that Zoom said, can you confirm that you're speaking in English? Yeah, I'm speaking English. Thanks, Zoom. I appreciate you. But this is the thing. Like, I know that that's not a perfect translation. I get it. I've been listening and working with some other coaches that are fluent in these languages. But here's the thing. Even if it gets it to 80% and it's like, okay, that's a little awkward and weird, but I get the idea of what Bill's trying to say. That's valuable. And I didn't have to learn French to be able to speak this language. I didn't have to learn Spanish. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that it's not something that if I want to be multiple languages in my voice, what a powerful tool that I can easily access. So just giving you some examples. The other thing that I want to share with you is these generated podcasts. So AI generated podcasts. I will share this one with you because when I was promoting the Sage Business Development Program, I thought, God, there's all this content and I want people to understand the content. How can I make it fun and easy? And so I put it through Gemini. This is from Google, and here's what they came up with.
Hey, everyone. Ever dream of ditching the 9-to-5 grind to become a coach? Mm-hmm. You know, guiding others to unlock their potential. Mm-hmm. Sounds amazing, right? But then reality kind of hits.
Yeah.
Can you actually build a thriving business doing what you love?
Right.
So we're diving into today.
Oh.
We're pulling wisdom from the Sage Business Development book, specifically for coaches.
Okay.
Which doesn't sugarcoat the challenges.
Yeah.
You ready for a dose of reality?
Bring it on.
Okay.
So again, it's just really interesting to be able to say, hey, Gemini, here's my landing page, and here's what we're trying to do in this program. How can you make it fun and interesting? And basically spit out an entire podcast episode based on the content that was provided there. And so you can start to see, like, when you're thinking about, hey, I'm looking to actually enhance my marketing, you don't have to do it alone anymore. And there's all these tools that are so easy to use. You just got to get in and start playing. And yeah, it's not perfect. It's not going to get everything right, but it's so much better than just doing the same old, which is what so many of us coaches have been struggling with. I wanted to be able to show you some really, really powerful alternatives. So let me get back here to the presentation. And now we got to talk a little bit about AI generated images. Learning prompts still remain important. So as I was thinking about promoting this session, I didn't want to just have the main page that I've shown in the past. I want to do something different. So I said, hey, show me an executive woman in an office cubicle looking frustrated directly into the camera while in front of her laptop surrounded by piles of paperwork. Boom. Now, again, I don't know this woman. She's not an actress. This is AI generated. It's crazy. And that came out in just a few seconds. But it didn't give me just one. It gave me all kinds of options to choose from and say, which is the one that you want to use for this particular session? And so I could easily refine and change or put it out there. I can change okay, I want the computer to be a laptop. I want the piles of paper to be higher, whatever. And then I'm able to put it out there and put it right directly into a post and then draw people into this program, right? And then there's AI original music creations. And I say original with air quotes again, because again, you pick your genre, you pick your content focus, but it's just as simple as a prompt. So create a beach house song about quitting your job. The one that I did was create a pop song about using artificial intelligence in your marketing, right? So I'll do this again. Let me stop sharing and I'll hit play. Let me just make sure the computer sound is working okay. Okay, here we go.
Up to my inbox blast, targeted ads rolling so fast. Algorithms paint the scene, turning screens to marketing dreams. Click rates high and bounce rate low. AI knows just where to go. Predict my taste with every scroll. It's like they're reading my soul. Machines that whisper in the night, selling dreams with pixels bright.
Now, I could go on, but isn't that insane? That was a prompt. It was just a few words and bang, it's a pop music song. And it's like, oh, by the way, if you didn't like that one, let me give you the same lyrics in a different tone. Same lyrics.
Woke up to my inbox blast, targeted ads rolling so fast. Algorithms paint the scene, turning screens to marketing dreams.
I mean, just think about that. Like the implications for the music industry are insane. My brother is a professional composer. He's written many soundtracks for movies. I mean, he's just like pulling his hair out. Like, what is going to happen now? Like, this is the Wild West. So I'm just giving you a sense of this. Like, yeah, there's a lot of things that still need to be worked out. Privacy, copyright, all the moral obligations, all of these things. There's lots that is still out there in the Wild West. And what I still want to share with you is that this is happening now. Right now. And if you wanted to enhance your session with a professional sounding song that you just made up a few seconds before the session, you can. It's just incredible. So I just want to, the main thing here is to just see, like, how do we actually do all this work in a way that is so easy that it's almost scary. Go back to my presentation. So if you want to hear the songs, I'll put this in the chat. These are the links for the actual songs that I just played. You can listen to the whole ones, but again, it's just sono.com. That was the platform that I used. Few keystrokes, and you're off and running with a pop song. And of course, the last piece of this is askbill.us. I teased it at the beginning. I didn't want to bury the lead, but yes, this is live. It is free for a limited time. What I've done is I started making it really simple to be able to ask any question you want about your coaching business. So what are the 4 foundations of any coaching business? Great question. And then boom, niche and ideal clients, irresistible offer, generating and converting appointments, right? So it's simple stuff. You can start at the very beginning, like help me, remind me, what do I need to focus on? You could continue on. How do I generate more clients? Great. Generating more clients, start with a clear, structured approach to attracting and converting your ideal customers. First, make sure you have a targeted audience, blah, 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 right? And your outreach can include strategies such as speaking, guest on relevant podcasts, direct messages, hosting free webinars, writing guest columns for industry publications. Which method do you think aligns best with your strengths? What if you said none of these? What if it's like, yeah, none of these are really that interesting? Are there others? Yes, absolutely. And then it continues to go. So here's the point. It's not one size fits all. It's going to give you suggestions, just like we learned about the prompts. You're going to refine those prompts to say, here's exactly what I'm looking for. And you already heard from coaches who've used this platform and are getting unbelievable results. And again, it's just the beginning of what we're up to. And is it perfect? No, it's not. I know that. But is it good enough for people to get immediate value? We're already seeing the answer is yes. And so I'd love for you to check it out. Give me your feedback. Tell me what's working. Tell me where you see opportunities for growth and improvement. I'm all in. This is such a fantastic way to be able to use the technology that exists today. And as we continue to grow and evolve, it'll just get better. So let's just quick recap here. AI powered content creation. We started with that. We talked about the audiobooks and the translations in your voice. We went to podcast episodes for edutainment. I've showed you the AI agent trained on content for deep learning for askbill.us. Personalized email marketing, you go right back up to number one, same thing, AI-powered content creation, powerful lead magnets. Now, while I didn't get into the specifics, it doesn't matter. If you can envision it, you can do it. You can ask platforms like ChatGPT to say, hey, I'm looking to develop a lead magnet that attracts this audience with this kind of offer, and what can you suggest? It'll give you ideas, it'll give you some frameworks, it'll give you lots of things you can play with. Keynote session description, same thing. You can go back and you can say, okay, I want to be able to use this as a way to get more speaking engagements. So this is the group that I'm trying to attract. This is the audience that I'm trying to enthrall. What are some great session descriptions that this particular audience would be interested in? And going back for a second to the powerful lead magnets, it's not just about the descriptions, but the actual use of your audiobook, your actual podcast for edutainment, right? All of the things, like even you using your agent, if you have one, these are all powerful ways to get people excited and out of their comfort zone, trying something new that is directly related to your offer. Social media optimization, same thing. As you do all of these content creation tools, you're starting to generate more and more interest in what you have. You point them all back to your website, and you are able to actually grow in domain authority around the topics that you continue to write and publish about. If you want to do a weekly newsletter, suddenly it becomes a whole lot easier. AI generated images, we showed you the photorealistic. You could also do illustrations. It's very simple. You would just put in a different prompt. I want this to look like Salvador Dali. Like if Salvador Dali was to draw me an image around this, what would that look like? Boom. And then AI, quote unquote, original music creations in minutes. So what's your biggest jaw-dropping moment in AI, either today or elsewhere? Please put that in the chat. What's your biggest jaw-dropping moment in artificial intelligence, either what you saw today or somewhere else?
So they're coming in hot. The music creation, the Suno app, how easy it is to use, the clarity of your voice, that it's free, the unlimited power, the possibility to do everything. Today, the sky is the limit, the vast amount it can do, images and the voice. I realize that the podcast I have been listening to is likely ChatGPT. This is definitely going to change my world. It allows me to really expand on how to bring together ideas easily. So many ways it can help, song and reading in your voice.
Yeah, this is amazing. Yes, it's so good. Thank you for everyone. And thank you so much for all of your feedback in the chat. It's super helpful to see what's resonating with you and what you're most interested in. As you can see, I live each of these AI marketing growth opportunities. None of this is theory. I am simply sharing my best practice, and I encourage you to adopt them. The big impact of small things, how what's easy for you might mean the world to somebody else. Create small wins. Small wins, start small, and that generates the big results. Every single time you try something new and you incorporate it into the things that you're up to, you're generating small wins that are leading up to big results. So up next, I'm going to do some live Q&A after a brief word from our sponsors. So let me stop sharing here.
Absolutely amazing, Bill. So before I dive into the next part of the conversation, I do want to welcome everyone because I do see some questions coming in the chat and we want to address them. So please, you see that little box in the bottom that says Q&A. Please immediately transfer all of your questions to that Q&A box because I'm going to be reading it out to Bill in a couple of minutes and I want to make sure we dive into those questions. So please, we don't want it to get lost in the chat feed. Bring your questions like Linda. I see you, Linda. What was the app for the AI Gen podcast? If you want that answered, put it in the Q&A box. Beautiful. I see the movements happening. So that's great. So wanted to make sure that that was addressed on the chat. And now, I think, Bill, you did an amazing job, obviously. We're so happy to have partnered with you today for this conversation. And one thing that I will stress to you guys, because I'm also a coach, I generate, a lot of capital on an annual basis just through my coaching services. And one thing that I will tell many of you, marketing is great, but you have to have a product, right? You have to have something, a niche product to convert and add value to your audience. And one thing that I want to share with you is the opportunity to be able to do that, hopefully with our partners at Graphy. I want to extend an amazing opportunity to many of you on the call to join the Power 20 Bootcamp because it's specifically for coaches. By show of hands, how many of you give me a 1 if you're already a coach and you have a product in the market and you're just trying to figure out a way how to optimize, get more clients, get more sales, which is probably why you joined this session. Give me a 1 and give me a 2 if you want to be a coach. You see that as the future. I mean, the e-commerce, e-learning market is just going through the roof. It's in the billions, and you want to tap into that market with your expertise, but you don't know where to start. So give me a 2 if you haven't done it before. You want to get out there. Give me a 1 if you are a coach and you're just trying to optimize. This is amazing. I'm loving the 1s and 2s so we can see who's on the call. Bill, hopefully you guys are seeing this as well so you can see the type of caliber that's on the session. This is good. All right. So for those of you who are in the market but you want to optimize and generate more sales, this obviously is a conversation for you because it takes a lot of humility to go back to the fundamentals and figure out how do I optimize my product for the market, especially when you think about.
Oh, hey, Christine, you went mute. Hold on. You
Sorry,
muted.
can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so especially considering the fact that in today's market, there's a high level of skepticism. So really having a great product is really important. For those of you who haven't, let's not figure out years and ways to navigate your entire industry to figure it out and learn from people who've done it before. So this is specifically for coaches and trainers who want to create, market, and sell their expertise, specifically online, especially in the year 2025 and beyond. So I want to share with you what you get out of joining this Power 20 Bootcamp. So first and foremost, I want to make it very clear that it's a great opportunity for you to get live training. I want to stress live. I know we live in an industry right now where everyone's doing pre-recording. It still seems very generic, but this is a live 3-day workshop where they're going to train you on first how to launch a product appropriately, how to market it, and how to sell it. I love that Bill focused today on the marketing side of things, how to leverage AI, how to leverage tools to optimize, but there's still some fundamental parts of marketing. Like, are you connecting to your buyer? Do you know how to communicate and identify your ideal avatar? These are the things in terms of marketing and selling and really doing it in a way that's authentic and on brand. Because I know many of you don't want to be sleazy. You don't want to be market salesmen. You want to make sure that you show up as your best self, right? So that's the first thing, a 3-day live workshop training to be able to learn the fundamentals, to be able to get out there the right way in your best way. The second thing, how many of you comment tech if you are afraid of the tech? Because I think even today's session, I love that Bill shared some of the tools that you have. I love that he shared the tool platform that he has to make life easier for you for your marketing needs. But prior to tools like, the one that Bill shared today, many of you have probably heard of Kajabi and all these other different tools to market yourself, your website, to promote yourself. And it gets very overwhelming. So comment tech if sometimes when you hear about the tech, it gets a little bit overwhelming. Right. And so the second thing that I love about this program is that they're going to not only share with you the right tools to help you succeed, but it's all going to be one place. Like I said, I've been in the industry for over 10 years. I have spoken on every platform you could think of. I have been at the United Nations. I have spoken at the World Economic Forum. I'm a TEDx speaker. I'm a global speaker who speaks at least 20 plus global events a year. I've spoken with heads of states and billionaires and everywhere in between. And I would tell you, The tech that you use to optimize your brand on social media, on digital spaces is very, very important. It either amplifies you or slows you down. And I've seen people not even get out there in the market in their best self simply because they cannot understand the tech to leverage. And again, tech is still a tool. It's not supposed to replace your expertise, but accelerate your exposure, right? So the second thing is the tool. I see a lot of people are still throwing in the tech there, which is good. The third thing is support and expert support. Now, I want to stress this again. I'm one of the creators that has been very successful on the platform, who have sold and generated thousands in my career, selling digital courses, selling digital communities. And I will tell you, having expert guidance will tell you this is the best way to go about it, as opposed to just trial and error and figuring it out on your own. So the third thing that you get is hands-on support. How many of you are using tools right now where if you don't get through to a customer service representative, you don't know how to get through to a calling center, that's it. You're stuck for several hours, several days, maybe even several weeks, because you don't have access to a real support system. And that could be very frustrating. So the third thing is you get support. The last thing I will say that you get from this program that I love tremendously is an actual marketing plan, which I think is truly amazing, because I'm someone who I've had a very accomplished career. I have lived and traveled to over 60 countries in my career. And one of those places I've been and lived in was in Dubai. Been there for over 5 years. And we all know the marketing mantra of Dubai: build it and they will come. That's not how it works in the real world, right? You could build a great product, a great coaching business, a great expertise, but you will be the industry kept secret if people don't know who you are. And if you do not know how to market yourself effectively, they will help you with an actual launch strategy. So once you get through this boot camp, through this 3-day live training, they will help you market and go out there and promote yourself properly. So that way you have a list of buyers. How many of you would love to know the actual demand that exists for your expertise? How many of you, comment expertise, if you would love to know that you would love to know, oh, there are 20 people in my community that are waiting for this product. I have 100 people that are interested. We have about 103 people on this session right now. I'm sure Bill is aware of the fact that he has hundreds of people who wanted his platform, which I think is like build.us, which I think is amazing. He knew there was a market need for building that platform. And 2 days ago, he told you he launched it. I don't think he launched that in a vacuum. Right? So many of you having that ability to launch outside of a vacuum and know what your community wants is truly amazing. And last but not least, I'm clearly a New Yorker, so I'm always proud to say that probably the best places to get marketing visibility is through New York. Times Square. Graduates of this program, also through a partnership with Graphy, get featured at New York Times Square, which is huge credibility and a huge partner boost for many of you who are not really able to compete with the industry best that's currently in the market. So it will be an amazing boost for many of you in the year 2025. Now, obviously, people have been through this boot camp before. It has been very successful. We have amazing examples of alumni who've done it before. We have alumni. Remember, I asked you who has been in the industry before but just want to optimize. Beyond School is an example of alumni who's been in the game but wanted to take it back, go back to the fundamentals and relaunch. And by having that humility, within the first 2 hours of launch, they were able to launch 600 courses, right? And be able to generate sales with 600 courses within the first 2 hours of launch, which is amazing. And remember, second, I asked many of you, how many of you are afraid of the tech? Some of you feel like, listen, this is not my world. I'm not capable. This is the reason why examples like Mark Putnam, who is not really good with tech, but he knew his expertise was needed. And he was able to really bring in over 2,500 people to be a part of his paid community, not free, but paid community. These are the stories that will inspire you. And we hope that maybe one day I could be sharing the story about one of you on this session. Comment me if you want me to be sharing your story on a future webinar where people could hear about your journey, be able to monetize and get out there with your expertise. I love this. So Barbara says me, Madison is me. So I love this. So you are in good hands. You are part of community. Again, I want to stress that Graphy is a platform for digital creators, coaches, and trainers, which means they have thousands of people like myself who've been in the industry, who've had success. And these are the people who are coming to speak to you to teach you how to be successful and be your best version of yourself in this year. So with that said, I want to summarize the 3-day live workshop. Obviously, this opportunity to get support, tech, resources, exclusive promotion. It's amazing. Now, I want to ask many of you, how much do you think a program like this costs, right? Because obviously, if you want to advance your career, if you want to advance your coaching business, it does require an investment. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm a New Yorker. I'm very blunt and to the point. How much do you think it costs for a platform or a program access like this? 3-day live, all the resources I share. I just want to see if you guys are also in the industry and know what the cost is in it. Now, I'll give you a hint. In my course, my cheapest or most affordable course is $2,500 for a 3-month digital course. For my 1-year program, it's $12K. Okay, so that's my range. So I want to see what's on the cost. So I see 2,500. See, you guys are in the industry. I see 10K. I see 500, 999. Graphy, please share the opportunity for them to join on the chat so that way they can know how they could dive into this. It is valued at $499 for this 3-day live boot camp. But for those of you who are on this session, because you had access to this program, you are getting it for $49. And all it takes for you to reserve your seat is $20, which at this point is right the price of the case of eggs right now. Okay, the economy is crazy. So for you to be able to jump in on this opportunity, I do want to stress, yes, I hear the wows, which is good. I do want to stress that it's supposed to be a small course, so you're not going to have hundreds in it. We're accepting, I believe, Graphy, less than 20 people for the course, so that way we can be able to answer questions and have intimate live dialogue with those who are in the program. Yes, it is cheaper than eggs. I said it, okay? And for those of you who are skeptical, I'll say this. I've been in the industry for a very long time, and I know I look young, but in my youth, I've done a lot. You could check me out on LinkedIn. You'll be like, okay, she's done some things. I will tell you, you will not find a program like this for $49 where all you need to do is $20 to reserve your seat. You just won't find it. You are able, because of the internet, go through trial and error. You could go through YouTube, you could go online, you could research, you could do all of the things. But 3 days is all we're asking to get you in the right direction so you can have a powerful 2025. We are now in the second month of 2025. We got 10 more months to go. Okay. The year is already flying. I want to make sure that you guys are leveraging every opportunity you have to really be successful. So a huge shout out to those of you who are already in. I see Madison, Vanessa, Lisa. Congratulations. Not 20 per month. It's just $20 to reserve your seat. Okay. Now, Graphy, please stay on the chat because I believe a lot of people are excited about this. They're jumping in. But I want to take it back and say, like, look, we want to invite you and extend that invitation to you guys to be able to be a part of this program. Thank you so much for your excitement. I'm seeing a lot of great questions on this. Team, please respond to the questions on the chat. And without further ado, I do want to go back to Q&A because we're not done yet. We still have a lot to cover. We want to make sure that this is a fruitful session. So I'm going to start with the Q&A box to start reading out those questions. And as you guys ask questions about the bootcamp, we are answering all of the above. We just want to make sure that this is a fruitful session where you learned about marketing, but now let's get it into practice. Let's actually take action on what we're learning and not just learning for exposure. Sounds good? So Bill, are you ready? I'm about to read some questions to you. Do you want me to read it to you or do you want to read it yourself?
Can you, what I wanted to do is give one more couple slides at the end. Can you stop sharing just for a second?
Absolutely. And when you're ready, I have the questions ready for you, okay?
Thank you so much. Appreciate your help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the other thing that I just wanted to share is Bryn is here with me as well. And I wanted to make sure that everyone knew if you are struggling and want to do a business growth audit, we have a 4-week to reset, align, amplify, and create your business momentum. This is a business detox and audit, identifying hidden gaps, eliminating waste, hidden costs, and diagnose with traps that are slowing you down to refresh and realign, refine your offers, your positioning, your messaging, optimizing your LinkedIn profile for clarity and consistency, growth in financial, your fractal strategy, pinpointing the simple, repeatable actions that drive real business and momentum, and implementation and momentum, weekly check-ins to apply insights, detox from information overload, and reset your marketing focus. Next steps with a full credit. If you do a 3-month action, once you have a 3-month action plan, it's $997 toward, this is also a credit toward your brand authority website. So if this sounds interesting to you and you were looking for additional support, in addition to what Graphy has just shared, this is the link. Bryn will put it in the chat. If you want to talk to her, all this is a conversation to see if this would be supportive to what you are up to in the world. And with that, Just reminding you that we have a few more sessions already scheduled for the first Friday, or third Friday of the month. And these are March 21st, building your $1 million one-person coaching business. The April 18th, focusing on the essential few versus the trivial many. May 16th, making your business essential effortless. June 20th, changing your 2025 trajectory to ensure your results. If you'd like to be reminded of these events, you're invited to follow me on LinkedIn. And I'll have this be also, Brendan will put this in the chat, to get any type of AI generated support with building your coaching business. You can go to askbill.us. This is free for a limited time. I highly encourage you to check it out if you're trying to build your coaching business and continue wanting to learn. Use this. It's a great tool. It's really being able to have great conversations. It's a chat GPT which exclusively focused on my content around building your coaching business. So there's no one else out there. If you are looking specifically for what I've been doing to build coaching practices, this has been a great tool. I'd love for you to check it out. And then if you want to be notified of the next event, go to my LinkedIn, Graphy Bootcamp, as Christine was just sharing with you, as well as finding out more about the business growth audit. These are all the options coming out of today's session. Okay, with that, let's do the questions. Go ahead, Christine.
Beautiful, Bill. Love your personal brand stack. You really got your stuff organized. I hope you guys are watching and modeling what Bill is doing. So we got some questions for you, Bill. So the first one is coming from Wales Pretty. How do you think clients perceive this content while having a hint that it is actually AI generated or assisted? Your thoughts?
Yeah, so the most important thing on that is the beginning of this presentation, I shared about the fact that if you're copying and pasting from ChatGPT, they will absolutely see right through that. And eventually, like right now, it's like a sort of a new thing, so not everyone understands how it's being used. Like someone said, that podcast I'm listening to, it sounds like it was generated from AI. Yeah, it probably is. And so this is the thing, is that people are going to continue to get to understand what's the difference between individual human interactions and complete AI driven actions. So what I'm going to ask you to consider is, how do you create the hybrid? Right now, it's like, use this as a thought partner. Really think about like the platform itself that you're using and how you want to speak to your audience. Use that as a way to get you started, but don't rely on it completely. So if you were just copying and pasting, it's a problem. If you're using it as a thought partnership, then you can actually enhance what you're learning from these tools to be able to make sure you're covering all your bases and really delivering the value that your clients are expecting of you. Excellent.
Thank you for that. Next question is coming from Tatiana. I would really love to hear about the ethics and filtering bias of ChatGPT.
Yeah, so this is a great question. We are in an entirely new, uncharted waters. The legal professions are looking at it right now. Let me give you one extreme example. The music industry has used AI as a way to go find other people that are copying songs that are under copyright. And so one of the things that the legal profession has done is they said, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. Let's go listen to all of those pirated songs that exist out there in the world, and let's go sue those people who are taking and ripping off our content. So like in an extreme version of this, that may be what we start to see, is that the pendulum swings back the other way. Right now, it's a free-for-all. All the content's available, and what ChatGPT is going after everything that's available on the web, whether or not it's sourced. And so again, from an ethical standpoint, for us, what we want to do is we want to know where this comes from, and to be able to say, how can I take the ideas that are coming from these platforms and make them my own? Making my own means, as Thomas Edison once said, the idea only need to be original in the application to which you're using it. So take someone else's idea that says there, and you can attribute it to that person if you know who's coming from. If you're using ChatGPT, say, hey, who said that? Or give me sources when you provide this kind of information, and then you'll be able to reference those sources. So you can do that. And the other part of it is to say, okay, I'm not seeking to follow in the footsteps of the masters. I'm seeking what they sought. So what is it that I can learn from what they're doing and apply it to my own needs? If you start doing that, then you'll never have to worry about it, because you'll always be doing original content by taking what you're learning from other people and then directly applying it to the problem you're trying to solve on behalf of your clients.
Amazing. This one's coming from Kamud Deepali, and he asks, how do we stay up to date with the latest AI tools coming up in the market?
Yeah. So the thing is, I would first accept the fact that you're not going to be able to keep up with it. Like it's coming in way too fast now. And I was involved in 1994 building the very first commercial websites for AT&T, MasterCard, CBS, Coors Brewing Company. And at that time, I thought we were at a breakneck speed because it was like, wow, the internet blew up and we went from 50,000 websites. And in 1 year, we were in the hundreds of millions of websites. It just went, this explosion, right? And we're seeing the same thing that's happening now inside of what's going on with ChatGPT. It's like, we got 100 million users. It's the fastest application growth in the history of all of these technology launches was ChatGPT, and it happened last year. So now you have 100 million people using ChatGPT, and now you got to believe that every investor on the planet is saying like, hey, okay, how do we actually buy AI companies? And so there's like an over calibration. So you have every startup in the world trying to do an AI hook. So the first thing is give up. Like seriously, don't try to know it all. Instead, use AI to find what actually matters. So you saw my list today. I said, okay, well, I know ChatGPT is the one that I know because I've been using it for the longest. What are better ChatGPT alternatives for different applications? And so the list you saw in my slides were very specifically because I was curious, like what else is out there? Tons of things are out there. So what I would say is just assume that everything you've ever known or done will have an AI bend to it. And because if you just make that assumption, now Google who's doing AI around and then fill in the blank. Like I was curious, like who's doing songwriting for AI? Oh, wait, who's doing professionally finished songs using AI? Boom. Right. So anything you can think of, someone's come up with an AI equivalent. So from that perspective, go out there and just get curious, ask questions, start Googling around or using ChatGPT. Say, hey, what other artificial intelligence platforms should I be paying attention to in this context? Remember, the prompt is what matters. What is the context you're looking for? Assume it exists. And if it doesn't, it's on its way.
This is lovely. And I'm seeing, sorry, just going to the chat. Yes, guys, Graphy Team is, taking in the registration. I saw someone say like, I'm in, but I didn't get a shout out. I will shout out as many as I can throughout the call. There are about 2 spots left for the boot camp. And yes, you will get an onboarding call once you join. So great job. And I think they're asking questions about the dates. So Graphic Team, stay on. So last call for the boot camp. They are going to close the link in a couple of minutes, and they only have 2 spots left for this cohort, for this group that's on. So great job. Going back to the Q&A. So we got one from Vicky, several. She has 4. So I don't know if you want me to run down all 4 questions and then you answer, if you want me to do them one by one. Bill, what's your preference? One by one?
Yeah, just go ahead. Let's do as many as we can. That's good.
Okay, so Vic, the first question says, when you create an image, who has a right to it?
Yeah, okay. So for that, so when you create an image right now, the current way that it's working is if it's generated by AI, you have the rights to that particular image that has been generated on your behalf in your platform. But I say it's a murky question because ultimately a lot of that AI generated work is there's a lot of copyright and intellectual property that's being challenged right now. So for example, when I say I want a piece of art that looks like it was designed by Salvador Dali, I'm using his name and likeness as I'm developing my artwork. So now, do I really own that? Is that really mine? I don't have the talent to paint like Salvador Dali, but at the same time, that's what's happening right now. So I will say in the current moment, in the time of this recording, right, you own the actual image that you're creating in these platforms. In the future, that may not be the case. It might be licensing rights. You might have to pay a fee. You might have to have some sort of a licensing agreement with the platforms you're using. But like I said, it's currently the Wild West. So today you own the image. I don't know if that's going to hold for the future.
Amazing. The second question, which app is best used for validation and solid research, in your opinion?
I'm sorry, one more time?
This question is, which app do you think is best useful for validation and solid research, in your opinion?
So the interesting thing is that if you ask for citing sources, all of these ChatGPT tools, all the various versions of them, they all give you the opportunities to find out where the source content came from. So from that perspective, I think it's important to understand that in the prompt, when you say cite sources, it'll give you those things. So if you're saying, look, I'm looking for the most in-depth research on this topic, please cite all of your sources, or where do I find sources for this particular question or whatnot, that the AI agents can actually go out there and tell you where to look and where to find. Now, anything that is behind a paywall, the chat, the actual AI tools won't necessarily have access to them, but they can see the descriptions and the summaries, and they say there are other things that I can't validate because I don't have access to them, but they might want to take a look and see if any of these are interesting to you, because these are the summaries associated with the research. So I would say you're still really better off either using Google to find out what are the best research, peer-reviewed research sources that are out there, or use a artificial intelligence platform to be able to help you cite those sources and investigate them. But don't trust the actual AI as much as just use it as a way to point you to the places where you want to look at the original articles and the original research content.
That's amazing. This question is actually specifically about your product, Bill. Can you give us an idea on the speciality of Ask Bill's focus within the coaching industry?
Yeah. So if you read, behind me, you see my book, you saw the picture up there, in that book, Sage Business Development. This one is the only book that's been written about how to actually build your coaching business in Sage, Ease, and Flow. So I used my 5 years working with Shirzad Shamin and Positive Intelligence as a way to be able to articulate a way to build a coaching business without the grind. And so essentially, like, all the reasons that a coaching business development is hard is because of all of our saboteurs, the lies of our judge and our accomplice saboteurs. It stops us from building the kind of coaching business we would love to have. And so essentially what I'm doing in the book is helping you understand there's only 4 things you need to know about, which is your niche, your irresistible offer, generating and converting appointments. And then I break it down and saying, this is how you can do this with ease. And so askbill.us is really developed on all of those core ideas around how do you build a coaching practice and do it in ease and flow, and how do you make sure that what you're actually applying matters? Because so many people are like, well, first I got to build a website, then I got to become a social media influencer, then I've got to do this, then I got to do this, and they make this giant laundry list of things that everyone else tells them that are important. But I'm telling you, focus on the essential few versus the trivial many. So my focus on askbill.us is what's going to generate appointments for you. Are you clear on your niche, your who? Do you have an irresistible offer, your what? Are you clear on how to generate appointments in ease and flow? And then are you feeling really good about converting those appointments once they're on your calendar, again, for the place of ease? That's what's unique about askbill.us, because it is specifically all of that training, 30 years of building and exiting, multi-million-dollar marketing agencies combined with mental fitness training. That's what you're getting in askbill.us. Cool. Thank you.
And then another question, what are your thoughts on perplexity.ai?
I'm sorry, so what is that? What's that AI?
What are your thoughts on perplexity.ai? If you know what tool that is.
Yeah, remind me. So I've used a lot of different tools. If you can, either in the chat, or Bryn, if you know, or even Christine, do either of you know Perplexity AI, what the platform is based on, what it's focused on? Because I don't. I'm not bringing it up right now.
I don't use it that much, but you made it very clear that there are so many tools available. They all do the basic things. It's just some are focused on images or content. So I think with that said, it goes back to you and created a platform specifically for the problem that you set. So it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I think again, I can't speak to that one specifically. If I've used it, I don't recall using it. Again, I've played around with a number of different AI platforms, but it didn't necessarily resonate. It didn't make this presentation, so it's not something I'm using regularly, and it's something I'm saying use for your marketing. So it's not that you can't, it's just that I don't have enough experience to comment on it. Thank you.
With that said, the follow-up question coming from Diana, how is the Ask Bill AI different than using ChatGPT?
Yeah.
DeepSeek or any other AI that's already out there?
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So DeepSeek is based on China's platform. It's really good, except for you have to understand anything that would talk negatively about China or the Chinese government is out. So you ask DeepSeek, what happened to Tiananmen Square? They're like, nothing. I don't know what you're talking about, right? Now, the thing is, at least that's honest. ChatGPT has the same problems, but they're not necessarily forthright about what they're hiding. And so what they're not telling you about, what they're not pointing to. So every platform has its weaknesses. What I will tell you, the difference between askbill.us is that I am exclusively focusing on your coaching business. And so I'm not thinking about all the various different ways that you can, write term papers or figure out French Revolution or learn about history or any of that kind of stuff. Like, that's all out. I'm exclusively narrowly focusing on how to build a 6 or 7 figure coaching practice and how to do it in ease and flow. So if you're interested in which cookie you should be baking tonight for dinner, that's not what, use ChatGPT. Don't use askbill.us. But if you want to know how to get more appointments on your calendar, use askbill.us.
I love that. And that goes back to focusing on your niche. That's why you created it. And I want to give a shout out to David. This community, you guys are really wonderful. You guys are an amazing audience. He answered the question regarding perplexity. So shout out to David Fisher for supporting the community with answering that question. Just wanted to give him a shout out because that's lovely.
Thank you.
And so I know we have a minute on the clock. And so any other pending questions? I know people are also asking Trisha, then just ask, to be able to block my calendar. Now, how long is the boot camp each day? It's 12 p.m. Eastern, daily, live. Graphy's going to send a question. And, the answers on the chat feed. I know they're going to send a summary. Any other pending questions on the platform? I want to make sure we get all of them. I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to ask you one more.
Sure.
Bill, just walk us through your day. Because you are amazing. You're touring. You have a whole travel schedule. I went on your website to make sure I knew who I was talking to and introducing. And it's not like it's not easy, right? Especially in today's day and hour. Like, walk us through your day, because I think a lot of people want to be able to replicate the success that you created. And it's such an honor for people to be on the call. So just walk us through your day so that way many of us can learn.
Thanks, Christine. And yeah, I am. I've been spending the last 18 months and will spend the next 4 months to travel around the world with my daughter Violet, starting in July of 2025. And we're going to literally go across the entire globe using one of those round the world tickets. And we're going to go to 52 locations in 52 weeks. So if you haven't seen that already, BillCarmody.com. It's amazing. I'm so excited. I've been blogging about it, sharing videos. Every weekend I talk with my daughter Violet about our travel plans, and we share that on the actual site. So Christine, thank you for bringing that up. And my thing is, daily habits are what matter to me. So I get up every morning at 5 a.m. and I do Meds RX. And if you're familiar with this, it's meditation, exercise, diet, sleep, relationships, X factor. Now, what that means is I start my day off at 5 a.m. because I ended my last day at 10 p.m. at night. I go to sleep early so I can sleep well. And then I get up in the morning. I do at least 20 minutes of meditation. I go to the gym. I work out. I make sure that my first meal is a healthy meal that I'd be proud of. I make sure that when I'm doing all that work, I'm energized so that I can come into a session like today and feel really elated and connected. Relationships. You're all my people. Like, you're people I've been able to spend the last 5 years with, right? And so I feel so honored to be able to be in this place by actually deepening our relationship, by sharing what I've learned and how I've grown. And then the X factor is, what's next? What are you growing? What is your growth edge? For me, it's about understanding how to use all this technology in marketing and do it in a way that's super authentic and effective. And so that's why I wanted to share all this stuff with you guys today too. So Christine, perfect question to end today's session. I sincerely appreciate you. Bryn, thanks for being on with us too. You guys are amazing. I feel so supported, and I really appreciate all your support. Thanks everyone for participating today.
Well, guys, you heard it here first. Bill, again, I wanted to also shout you out. Thank you so much. Bryn, you are amazing. Can we also give a shout out to Bryn? I know you guys saw her on the chat with the summaries, the responses, the links. It's always a pleasure to work with individuals who are supporting each other. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll drop my LinkedIn on the chat. Bryn, can you also drop Bill's LinkedIn on the chat as well so they can stay in touch with them post the session? Love you guys. Again, huge shout out to also Graphy. Community is all about bringing people together, and Graphy, we can't thank you enough for bringing us together, bringing Bill, bringing Bryn, bringing all of us to have this important conversation. So thank you so much, everyone. Much love and peace. I look forward to seeing you guys in the near future. Have an amazing day, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Take care.